Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. The first review and demo in my beautiful new location here. So we're actually going to shake things up today and not go to the electric guitar world, but we're going to take a look at a Gibson SJ-200. Because recently, Gibson has been doing a whole bunch of signature models for artists, so I thought we would take it back to this model from 2014 that lasted until 2017. This is the Bob Dylan Signature J200. So Bob Dylan, if you're not familiar with his music, trust me, you are. You've heard him around. You might not have necessarily known his name, depending on when you were born, but he was a very influential singer-songwriter in the 60s for anti-war movements as well as civil rights. And he's had numerous top songs throughout his storied career. I mean, this guy's been doing it for many, many years. And I believe Monday is his birthday, so happy birthday to Bob Dylan. He's turning 80 this year. But this was his signature guitar. They called it the Players series, but it was a replica of a guitar that he had custom ordered brand new himself. So this is not your ordinary J200. So kind of like the Tom Petty SJ-200 that Gibson just came out with, as well as the Orianthi, there's some things special about this one. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and take a look at this thing. I have high hopes for this thing after checking out that Epiphone J200. Oh my, look at that. Okay, so I purchased this, used, but it was supposed to have been like hardly ever played. Still has the factory original strings on it. Now whether that's true or not, I guess we'll just have to find out. But take a look at this thing. It's got a double pickguard on it. That's such a boisterous move in my opinion, because you really have to be a great guitar player to pull that off, because it definitely commands attention when you have a double pickguard, in my opinion anyways. But this is all hand painted on here, so I guess you could potentially scratch it up. But taking it out here, it looks like we got some little mother of pearl dot inlays within the pickguard itself, as well as the golden paint. That is such a fancy looking piece. And you've got this gorgeous Adirondack red spruce top. It's got a lot of wood grainage running up and down the guitar right there. You can kind of see the lacquer sinking areas where it catches that. But this one also has like a little bit of a bird's eye to it. That's kind of cool. And then they have what they call the Bella Voce inlays. This reminds me so much of like a Les Paul Artisan. Like that is the almost direct inlay that they used to use on the old Banjos, but you would find that on the 12th fret of the Les Paul Artisan. And that one just looks like a goofy little face with a big nose. I like it. And then of course we have our Bob Dylan eye right here on the headstock. So what an interesting piece. I mean, we flip it over to the back. This is maybe not the most heavily figured one that I've ever seen, but I believe the spec sheets call this like a 3A maple back. And you've also got it on the sides. But what I'm noticing just handling this, there's definitely some lacquer sinking going along this three-piece neck. So you get two pieces maple right here, and then the walnut center stripe. But you can even see like right here in this lighting especially, where it's almost like they didn't sand that flush. I'm sure that's just how the lacquer's been aging on this. But this is a 2015 model made on the 68th day of the year. As I said earlier, these things were around for 3 years. They called it the Players Edition Bob Dylan SJ-200, and they were $5,000 brand new. But on the used market, as of right now, it seems they've actually appreciated in value over the years, because they sell for about that and a little bit more. And on top of all that, we also have a pickup on the inside here. So I think that's a good first look at this thing. So let's go ahead and throw this guy on the workbench and take an individual look at its parts and specs. Inside the Bob Dylan SJ-200, let's take a look at this thing. So let's really take a close-up of these pickguards, because it's quite the sight in person. You've got the faux tortoiseshell going on, and once again, this is supposed to be all hand-painted according to the specs. And underneath these lights, you can really see these inlays come to life. They've got a lot of different figuring patterns within it. It's quite nice, especially when you can see the rosette kind of peek through that red color right here. There we go, that's a good angle for that, because you've got a multi-layered rosette here that also continues on right there. And on the other side, of course, you get the other pickguards here. I don't know about you guys, but I've always found the double pickguard vibe just to be extra boisterous and fancy, and that's exactly what this entire guitar encompasses. But you can see that spruce top with this beautiful kind of tobacco sunburst finish going on. It goes from a really dark brown color. I know it kind of looks a little bit black, but that's definitely brown, so that puts it in the tobacco sunburst family, and it moves into that very light hue. And the red spruce is definitely a nice little upgrade on this one. But what's kind of interesting about this bridge is it looks like rosewood, right? But this is actually a alternative wood to rosewood called granadillo. We've ran into that for fretboards quite often. This is the first acoustic guitar that I've had that it's kind of strange that they actually use a legitimate rosewood fretboard here and then go for granadillo on this. But that is the spec of this one, and you can see a bunch of nice mother of pearl inserts on that. That's looking nice too. And it just has the regular bridge pins down here. They just feel like they're made out of plastic to me. As far as the pickup, it's the LR Baggs Anthem pickup. It looks like maybe even a battery check right here, so that one's fully intact. But inside the guitar sleeps your battery pack. It seems every time I get an acoustic guitar shipped to me, this thing comes unglued. But there we can see our sticker, SJ-200 Bob Dylan Players Edition, the only edition that I'm aware of. We've got the kerfing on the inside as well as the bracing within the guitar. You can see the neck join down here. You can also see the maple sides on the inside. But SJ-200s are big guitars. I mean, that's 17 inches across on the lower bout. And at the top, you're about at 13. As far as the binding goes, it is 6-ply along the top, but that also changes on the back. So now we move on to the next. So this, once again, is a true rosewood fretboard, and you get those fancy inlays here. Pretty much every single one of these is different. I've got to say, though, this big-nosed happy guy is definitely my favorite one. This one kind of looks like a bug to me, or like a mask, and then just a straight up flower up here. But we have 20 frets on this one, with a nut width of 1.73 inches, which increases to 2.11 by the 12th. First fret neck depth 0.85, and we'll take it at the 10th at 0.9. And this one utilizes a 25.5 inch scale length. So it stays pretty consistent here, more so on the 60 side of things in my opinion. And that is a bone nut. Now they didn't go anything too crazy with the truss rod cover itself. It's just completely blank and secures by 2 screws. And inside here you can see the multi-piece neck as well. I always thought this was mother of pearl, but it's not. The Dylan Eye is just a decal. You can see a very stark difference between the mother of pearl Gibson logo and the Dylan Eye right here. And to be honest, I'm kind of let down by that. I think it would have been cool to have that in mother of pearl, but nah, maybe it's just too difficult. There's a lot going on there, but that logo looks great. It almost seems like they do age the lacquer. You can see how that Gibson logo is slightly yellow. You can see that the binding has turned yellow, even right here, so that just must be part of the finish on this guy. Moving on to the back now, we actually have 3-ply binding on the back, so that's a difference. The back isn't quite as ornate as the front, but then again, do you really need it to be? But it's that exact same tobacco sunburst. And you also have a 2-piece back that is separated by this little design here. Looks like after polishing it up, I can actually see a little bit of scratching back here, so somebody has definitely used this, because I also saw just a little bit of fret wear. But it's a little bit more than 4 inches deep, I would say, so definitely a big guitar. Give you a quick tour of the edges. It's also flamed maple. Looking pretty nice. And to continue being fancy, you've got a heel cap here that's 3-ply. And that continues on here to our 3-piece neck. 2 pieces maple, 1 piece walnut. And you've got your Gibson custom shop decal back here with your golden oil tuners, made in USA with our serial number, dating this one to early 2015, the 5th one produced that particular day. And of course you also have that on your sound hole sticker. All said and done, this weighs 5 pounds, 1.5 ounces. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and hear how it sounds. I'm running this directly into my computer using our pickup here. Can also modify the tone on the inside. More of that usual acoustic piezo type sound. You can also change the phase of the pickup. We'll see how it sounds with the capo. Now let's do some just dry acoustic samples. We got my mic right here pointing towards the fretboard for this. I really believe where this guitar shines is the capo kind of up here. It really projects well. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Bob Dylan SJ-200? It's definitely a beautiful guitar. I mean, this is like what I like. I like super ornate, fancy stuff, but it's not like too over the top at the same time. So if you like the whole mustachioed bridge, double pickguard vibe, pretty much the only bad thing I can say about this is, yeah, it's kind of expensive. Mainly because it's a limited edition, and hey, J200s are just expensive anyways, because it is the cowboy's big country guitar. These things are pretty beefy, so if you ever see one and you like Bob Dylan, or maybe you don't even like Bob Dylan, you just happen to like the ornateness of this guitar, I'm glad it exists. Alright, Troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.